Hello everybody, welcome to Wine and Scotch with Steve. So what are we doing here? We're doing wine and scotch with me. And how exactly did that start? Well, I'm gonna have to bring in a little guest here. I think it all started with this guy back in 2002. This is a 2000 Cabernet Sauvignon from Castiglioni and from Marchesi de Frescobaldi. So this is an IGT wine that was made in 2000, and I bought this in 2002 just because I was making some good money at the time at my job. I was always into spirits, whiskeys and scotches and brandies, but I never really had a palate for wine. Never really, consumed wine when I was, growing up in my teenage years at dinner time with the family, or or in my 20s. But anyway, so I bought this bottle amongst other bottles from the LCBO, and I kept them in my, I guess back in that day it was in my parents' house, because I was only, I'm dating myself now, going back to 2002, for God's sake. So I had graduated from university in that year, so that is going to be, what am I going to be there? So 21, 22-ish years of age. Anyways, so in 2010, bought my first house, and I decided to open this wine. So 2010, this is a 2000 vintage, so 10 years in the bottle. So I opened the wine, and I didn't know if it was good. I didn't know if it was good. I didn't know if it was spoiled. I didn't know if it was good. And that really, it bothered the heck out of me, that I didn't know if what I was tasting was good. So from that moment on, I guess I got a little passionate and obsessive, which is part of my personality anyways. Pay attention to a lot of detail and want to know pretty much how everything works. So I wanted to know what wine tasted like. What did good wine taste like? What did bad wine taste like? What did corked wine taste like? This is not an expensive bottle. I think it retails for about, I think you can still buy this guy in LCBO right now. Obviously he's going to be the 2020 vintage. So, but he's about $18 or $16, $18, something like that. So it's under $20 for this guy. So I started to develop my palate. How did I do that? Lots of studying, lots of tastings of all types of varietals, different regions, different vintages. Lots of blind tastings of food, of herbs, of spices, smelling of oils, trying to develop the palate as much as possible through olfactory training and through palate training. So yeah, this guy, he started a cascade of experimentation, and over the years now, so since 2010, I've been cellaring wine, and right now I think I have one of the most comprehensive wine cellars of anyone that I know. I'm not cellaring wine for investments. It's not about buying Grand Cru, Premier Cru, and Class A, First Growth, this and that. It's not about that at all. I'm not going to be spending $500,000 on a bottle of wine. I've tasted $500 wines. I've tasted $1,000 bottle wines. Does price reflect quality? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In no way whatsoever. Is what you drink in a glass that's a $1,000 Chateau Margaux, is it $1,000 less? Heck no. But they deserve that price because of the market and the demand and so forth. But anyways, what we're going to be doing here in this show is we are going to be tasting pretty much 95% of everything blind. So I have my maestro here, my partner in crime, will be preparing flights of wine. It could be a single mystery wine. It could be a dynamic duo. It could be a triplet. It could be a quartet. It's completely up to her what she's going to put in front of me. Wines come from the LCBO. Wines come through vintages. Wines come through vintage classics. Wines come from Ontario wineries. Wines come from our cellar, which contains at least 3,000 plus bottles of wine. I have wine dating back to 1998, I would say. So yeah, we're going to do a lot of fun blind tastings. We're going to do a lot of vertical comparisons. So looking at what happens to a wine as it evolves over time, looking at maybe a 2005 vintage, 2006, 2007, 2010, 2012, 2018. Okay, all of the same wine, same varietal, same producer, but what the heck happens to wine in the glass over time? Because that's what got me started into wine, right? So I really have a passion for aging wine, maturing wine, cellaring wine. The cost of wine keeps going up and up and up, and I truly believe that nothing beats an aged wine. I have a palate for aged wines. Not many people do, but if you haven't tried an aged wine before, this is an awesome time to get into the experimentation of aging wines. Because of the year that we're in right now, 2022, we've had some really, really good vintages in the last few years. 2016, 2018, 2020 are excellent years for buying a wine that is of good value and cellaring it over time so it can mature and it can develop. When I was building my cellar, as I said, I started in 2010. So 2011, the wines I was purchasing were primarily, 95% of my inventory down there is 2009, 2010 wines, because those vintages were exceptional in Italy and in France, and pretty much throughout the world, Spain as well. So this is an awesome time to start cellaring wine, start maturing wine if you haven't already. But the whole purpose of the show is to make sure that we can find value in the glass, right? We don't want to be spending our hard-earned money on wine that's not worth what we're paying for. We want quality wine. We don't want a wine that's been confected or manipulated with wood chips or with oils, overly oaked this and that, right? We want real natural wines that reflect varietal and that reflect terroir. Hopefully you find some wines that fit your palate, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that they fit your budget. Okay, so please feel free to subscribe, like, any questions, comments, leave them below, and hope to see you soon. Cheers. That's not that.
Pretty good.
We can edit.
Anything else?
No, I think we're good. What do you think?